What is going on, everybody? Sports expert here, and we are here with our college football top 25 post week 9. So we have our top 25 for week not after week 9, and we're actually gonna have takeaways for every single college football game this week that an FBS team played. So we're gonna go through those quick too after the rankings. So before we start the video, please hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on the post notification bell, like the video, comment what you think. Let's get started here with the rankings. So at 25, I have the North Carolina State Wolfpack coming off a 22-21 win against Virginia Tech. I couldn't find a team to rank, so I just ranked them based off MJ Morris and his play. I just think he's a really solid kid, and I think he can take NC State far in the future. At 24, I have the Liberty Flames. They are coming off a bye week, but they've played good football so far. At 23, I have the Maryland Terrapins. Are also coming off a bye week, but with Talia, they're obviously a very good team, especially offensively. At 22, I have the Syracuse Orange. They've lost 2 in a row now. Not ideal. They lose to Notre Dame 41-24. I think I'm going to go kind of quick with these rankings because there will be a college football playoff ranking on Tuesday. So, my rankings probably don't mean as much. But, yeah. But this is basically what I think. But, yeah, Sean Tucker will not be pleased. At 21, I have Oregon State. They're also coming off a bye, but are bowl eligible. At 20, I have the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Not really sure what happened with Sam Hartman and company, but it was really bad for Wake Forest. Just a really bad loss against Louisville at Louisville, 48-21. Hartman turned the ball over 6 times, 8 turnovers in one half for Wake Forest. At 19, I have the Oklahoma State Cowboys coming off a 48-0 loss at Kansas State. I just don't know what happened to Oklahoma State. Does anyone know? Not me. Spencer Sanders was off. At 18, I have the Ole Miss Rebels. They are coming off a 31-28 win against Texas A&M. Man, Ole Miss, I don't know about this game. I felt like they could have won this one by more, but, I don't know. Lane Kiffin's not doing a terrible job there, though. At 17, I have the Tulane Green Wave. They are coming off a bye week, but look like arguably the best team in the group of 5. At 16, I have the UNC Tar Heels. They are coming off a win against Pitt. They were down for a bit there, but, they were able to, step it up, and Drake May carrying the team. At 15, I have the Penn State and Indy Lions coming off a tough loss versus the Ohio State Buckeyes at home. They were in that game for most of the game until the fourth quarter, where it really spiraled for James Franklin and company. At 14, I have the LSU Tigers. They're coming off a bye week as well. They got Alabama next week. At 13, I have the Kansas State Wildcats coming off that 48-0 win versus Oklahoma State. Will Howard played a great game. Deuce Vaughn looked extremely explosive. Kansas State's got a lot going for them. Their only losses to the best team in the group of 5, Tulane. At 12, I have the Utah Utes. They were coming off a 21-17 road win against Washington State. They were banged up. No Tyrion Thomas or Cam Rising, but they were able to get the job done. Good job by Kyle Whittingham and his staff. At 11, I have the USC Trojans. They are coming off a 45-37 close win against Arizona. Kind of weird that it was close, but, it was only 14.5 the spread. Not crazy. And at 10, I have the Illinois Fighting Illini. They are coming off a 26-9 win against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. They easily deserve their ranking right now with the way their defense is playing. This team is absolutely generational right now. Brett Bielema's doing a great job. Chase Brown is him as well. And Tommy DeVito's played really good football, been very accurate with the ball. At 9, I have the UCLA Bruins. They are coming off a 38-13 blowout win at home against Stanford. They were able to run down Stanford's throats, and Zach Charbonnet was him. At 8, I have the Oregon Ducks. They are coming off a nice win against Cal. They were down for a bit, but they were able to regroup and win that game pretty easily. But good job by Bo Nix. The way he's playing, he's having fun. At 7, I have the TCU Horned Frogs. They are coming off a 41-31 win against West Virginia. They're 8-0 now. Great win for them. Good to see Max Duggan, what he's went through with the story of him being the backup for no reason. At 6, I have the Alabama Crimson Tide. They are coming off a bye week as well. They got LSU next week at LSU. At 5, I have the Clemson Tigers. They are also coming off a bye week. So, after the win against Syracuse. At 4, I have the Michigan Wolverines. They are coming off a 21-9-7 win against Michigan State. A lot of tensions in this game, but, Michigan was able to get it done. Against a really weak Michigan State team, not surprising there. At 3, I have the Georgia Bulldogs. They are coming off a 42-20 win against the Florida Gators on a neutral field. Kirby Smart just outcoached Billy Napier. Stetson Bennett didn't play great, but Brock Bowers might be the best tight end we've seen in a long time in college football. At 2, I have the Ohio State Buckeyes coming off a 44-31 win against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Ryan Day coached pretty poorly in the first half, but made some adjustments in the second half. I talk crap on Ryan Day a lot, but he does really well with these second half adjustments, no doubt, and outcoached James Franklin everywhere. And at 1, I have the Tennessee Volunteers. How about Tennessee being at 1? 44-6 against Kentucky. It doesn't get any better than that. I mean, you have to give props at this point. I mean, incredible from the Tennessee Volunteers what they're doing. Hendon Hooker has to be the Heisman leader, and I'm an Ohio State fan saying that. Has to be. And we'll go with takeaways now. Virginia Tech versus NC State. MJ Morris, I mean, he's going to be a star. I've been high on this kid since day one, no doubt. Louisiana versus Southern Miss. Southern Miss is very underrated in the Sun Belt. Very underrated team. They're the only team that's beaten Tulane this year. Definitely a bold team for sure. And Louisiana, yeah, they have a major quarterback issue. They got to fix that. Only first year in Desermo's tenure, but, hopefully they get some development from that position. Utah versus Washington State. Yeah, Cam Ward, he played fine, but he's been disappointing. I thought he could do more. East Carolina and BYU. Yeah, Sataki, he should have taken the Washington job. Now he's stuck in a hole with BYU. 4-5, just not ideal. Outside of the COVID year, hasn't been ideal for him at all. He could have made a ton of money there. Mike McIntyre, he's doing a great job for this FIU team. They don't have a lot of talent at all. I mean, they have probably the most talentless secondary in football, and they find ways to stop teams from passing the football downfield at times. It's incredible. He's a great defensive mind, no doubt about it. I wasn't sure about the fit because of how young the players were, but I really like McIntyre here. Ohio State versus Penn State. Yep, James Franklin just can't win big games. 2-15 against top 10 teams, I believe. Just a disaster of a second half for him. Sonny Dykes has proven me wrong. I literally said before the season started he was the worst hire of any team in the offseason, but hey, he's proven me wrong. SMU hasn't looked amazing without him. But yeah, I mean, and how about this? Rest in peace to West Virginia plus 7.5 bettors. That offside touchdown at the end there, Dave Portnoy and Big Cat, rest in peace. 80,000 on that 7.5. Not ideal. The 160K swing. Notre Dame versus Syracuse. Yep, Syracuse is who they thought they were. I thought they were a sleeper coming into the season. I didn't think they'd be 6-0, but yeah, they're kind of who they thought they were. We thought they were. Brian Harsin, I have no idea how he stole his job. He's blackmailing the Auburn football program. The only explanation. OU versus ISU. Matt Campbell. People like to blame Matt Campbell and call him overrated. I can't blame him here. The talent at ISU is extremely limited. I know the recruiting hasn't been great, but, they just got to get some more talent. Iowa State has to be better. Just has to be better. But there's one thing you can blame Campbell on, he's not making the correct hires on his staff. Jim Mora, I mean, great hire for UConn so far. What a win they got versus Boston College, 13-3. Does Jeff Hafley lose his job soon? That could be a question people bring up because, Boston College might be arguably the worst team in the Power 5. That's how bad it's gotten. I mean, Colorado's up there too. And Vanderbilt. Phil Dracovic didn't play well. I was high on him at one point, but not really anymore. But you gotta, come on. His whole offensive line's been hurt. He's playing with a backup offensive line all year. It might be the worst in ACC history. I'm not even trolling when I say that. That's how bad it's gotten. Georgia Tech versus FSU. Georgia Tech's back, but not that type of back. Yup. Georgia Tech just looks like, the Jeff Collins Georgia Tech again. Clayton Tune played a great game. I've criticized him for a while. I know he played USF, but a really solid game for him. 31-37. 3 of those 4 incompletions weren't even his fault. Great performance. Toledo versus Eastern Michigan. They didn't have Daquan Finn. I think they'll be just fine. Tucker Gleason looked great. The accuracy was there. He was able to lead Toledo to the game-winning drive. Miami versus Akron. Joe Moorhead experiment could be a forgettable moment sooner than later for Akron. Yeah, I mean, Akron, it's not going very well. You'd think they'd be much better. They're 1-8 with a home overtime win against St. Francis, PA, FCS team. This Akron team is absolutely terrible. And it's sad because they have talent on this team. There is talent. Joe Moorhead has done an absolutely forgettable job at Akron. Just forgettable. Miami versus UVA. I don't have much to say about Mario Cristobal other than he's the most overrated coach in college football. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Charlotte versus Rice. Another team succeeding after firing their coach. Auburn Tigers. Take notes. You probably would have beaten Arkansas if you fired Brian Harsin. Those players would have been absolutely motivated to win that game. I don't know what to say, man. You should have fired Brian Harsin. Now, all these teams firing their coaches are having success. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Gavin Williams, so high on him in the offseason. Been terrible. Really disappointing. I don't think he's been put in the best position with his coaching staff, but I really would like to see more. Every time I pick Old Dominion, I just don't get it right, man. So flip-flop. Who knows if they're going to win this and win that? It doesn't make sense. And for the first time, like ever, Ohio State has actually gotten a Walter Camp winner in JT Tumalo. I mean, I just got to shout that out because Walter Camp must. I'm kind of convinced he's been a Michigan fan for so long because he never gives the award to an Ohio State player. But here we go. I mean, if you wouldn't have given it to Tumalo, then I don't know what I would have said. But Caleb Williams also played a great game. Yeah, I think we may have jumped the gun on the Billy Napier hype. He looks horrendous managing a football team. He doesn't know how to call the right plays. He doesn't know how to play his top players to their strengths. It's gotten quite bad. First time since 1979, Florida starting 1-4 in conference play. Good God, Billy Napier looks bad. Will he last long there? I don't know. I gave a lot of crap to Dan Mullen, but Billy Napier just looks horrible. Oklahoma State versus Kansas State. What in the world happened? Everyone's asking this question. I don't know, but Will Howard might be the best backup in college football. Sam Hartman may have actually saw a ghost. Halloween's coming up. It would make sense. The turnovers were insane. Brett Bielema and Chase Brown, I said that. They are them. Him and him, them. Cincinnati versus UCF. Luke Fickell was absolutely outcoached all game. Incredible. I picked Cincinnati thinking Luke Fickell would absolutely outcoach Gus Malzahn by a lot. It was the other way around. Towards the end of the game especially. Spencer Petras for Heisman. 21 for 30, 200 yards and a touchdown is Heisman numbers for Spencer Petras. What a game. They won by 20. New Mexico State versus UMass. New Mexico State, yeah, Gavin Frakes is the second worst quarterback in the FBS. He's horrible. Just behind Gino Campiotti from UMass. So, yeah. And they take him out and they start winning. They won by 10. They're down 10-0. But then, hey. Temple versus Navy. I got to give credit to Temple. Temple's been very flip-flop this year. They play great games and they get absolutely destroyed in other games. Like, they lose by 60 to UCF. They lose to Rutgers by 2. They lose to Navy in overtime. Got to give them credit. This is an interesting team. And without Stan Drayton, dang. Looking like Philip Montgomery probably won't have his job by the end of the year. There's already been talk about him losing it. Just not ideal for Tulsa. And they have some talent too. Maybe not a lot, but they do have some for sure. Yeah, App State take care of an 0-7 FCS team in Robert Morris. This is the one that was interesting to me. North Texas winning this one by 27. How do you predict this? Like crazy. I was stunned by this result. One of the most stunning results of the weekend for me. Missouri versus South Carolina. Yeah, I praise Shane Beamer here, but Shane Beamer, the thing about Missouri, Eli Drinkwitz ain't no joke either. The dude can coach, and that's the main reason why Missouri was able to win this game by 13. A lot of other coaches aren't going to beat South Carolina, or just going to barely beat them. Eli Drinkwitz knows what he's doing. So, yeah. Butch Jones, never been a great coach, and it's looking like that again at Arkansas State with the talent they have, especially on offense. Just not good. The Vols are them. Like I said, they're them. They might be the number one team. Caleb Williams, I said, he played a ridiculous game without his wide receivers, but the USC joke, yeah, it's a massive joke, the USC defense. Got to clean that up. Boise State is probably the favorite to win the Mountain West at this point. Yeah, I would say so. They look great. Green looks very solid since Bachmeier's entered the portal, and Cutter's taken over as offensive coordinator. Coastal Carolina bouncing back over an awful loss. Can't say I'm surprised. Grayson McCall and Jamie Chad will always have their heads in the game, so yeah. I'm not big on Marshall either. UAB versus FIU. FAU. It's actually FAU. But my Superdog FAU gets it done. Florida Atlantic. N'Kosi Perry played a solid game. Dwayne McBride can also run the football for UAB. Biggest mess of the game of the season, the score in the post-game massacre. If you guys haven't seen that, I did post a video about that too. Ole Miss versus Texas A&M. Lane Kiffin smack talking. Yeah, I don't know, man. That was an interesting one. But that's my take on this game. Lane Kiffin I love Lane Kiffin. Come on now. Dude's he's generational. Why wasn't Trenton Bourget starting from day one? Like, come on. Emory Jones has shown he's not good. What do you need? What else do you need from him? Come on now. Baylor versus Texas Tech. Yep, Texas Tech is who they thought they were. They get destroyed. I'm just not big on them. Drake May to Ohio State or even Bama next season. If he enters the portal, that'd be insane. The story people would follow would be insane with Drake May. Don't think he'll enter the portal, actually, but just a hypothetical out there. Ohio State or Bama. MTSU versus UTEP. Yep, MTSU just wins them. They feel like it. There's just weeks where they win. Some weeks where they just feel like losing, weirdly. Zach Charbonnet, he can play the game of football. He ran the ball absolutely down the throats of Stanford. Great game. Jake Hander back on the football field. They were down 28-10 for a while. He was struggling a bit, but it was able to get his head in the game and outscore San Diego State 22-0 mid-third quarter to the end of the game. Great job by him. San Jose State, man, I don't know. They play a really close game against Nevada. This just shows how weak the play of the Mountain West is. It's bad. It's just not good. And the last game, Wyoming versus Hawaii, DQ James is him. This team can run the football, this Wyoming team. DQ James is him, 1,000%. Enter the portal, could get a Power 5, offer. But I appreciate everyone being here. Sports Expert here. Hit the subscribe button to the channel. Turn on the post notification bell. Like the video. Comment what you think. I'm out, guys. Sports Expert here. Peace.